What's good, YouTube? It's your host, S.H.I.N.O, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. So, the moment is here. The Nintendo Switch 2 has finally been announced. We can stop the speculation about what the C button does. All the information is right here. So, whilst we have a ton of information, not much of it is really specific. So, for the first time ever, we will be having Nintendo games in 4K, 120 frames per second.
Excellent!
Which really sounds cool, which really sounds interesting. To be honest, I'm not really surprised because Nintendo games, as far as graphically, aren't really demanding, but it's really good to know that they're going to be actually pushing for this standard. So I'm pretty much expecting, when it comes to flagship games like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, all that great stuff, we're going to be getting 4K and at least 60 frames per second. And that just sounds really funny coming from a Nintendo conference. Do you know what I'm saying? That sounds like it doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna lie. Now, you would have to be a complete fool to assume that third-party games and just games in general will be running at 4K or 60 frames per second. That's going to be reserved for Nintendo games or specialized third-party games exclusive to the Switch 2. Personally, I am just hoping that when you compare the Switch 2 to things like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, it just compares favorably. Now, one thing which I was really surprised about is that there was no form of major gimmick or innovation. If there's one thing Nintendo are definitely known for as regards to hardware, is always coming with some new out-of-the-box thing that Sony, Microsoft, not even Sega would have been able to come up with themselves. And the fact that this is just essentially a more powerful Nintendo Switch is a little bit disappointing in my humble opinion. I mean, come on, guys. This is Nintendo. These are the people that popularized motion controls who thought, hey, let's put a screen in the middle of your controller. They even thought, hey, let's put a robot with your console. So seeing that the Switch 2 is just a little bit more powerful and it's got a mouse now is just a little bit disappointing.
What's that?
And when it comes to picking up casual gamers or people who may not be so into the console space, these unique features and gimmicks are usually something that really works in Nintendo's favor. Like the fact that the Nintendo Switch was some hybrid modular console is something that stood out from anything on the market as well as their previous consoles. So seeing that they're playing it safe is going to be really interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Now, there was a ton of time in the presentation dedicated to Nintendo seemingly playing catch up with the other manufacturers. Features like 3D audio, 2 USB ports, having a specialized camera are all well and good, but these are things that we just expect other consoles to just have now. Voice chat should have been a standard on Nintendo games a decade ago, and I'm not gonna lie, was really disappointed when Nintendo didn't have any hardcore innovations as far as hardware or display, because when they are contemporary, they are not playing to their strengths. And we can see in the areas they're playing catch up in, even when it comes to storage, they've gone from 32 gigs to 256 gigs. But now that the games are gonna be bigger, how many games are you gonna actually be able to store? We're going to be having bigger games like Elden Ring running on the Switch 2. So how far is 256 gigs really going to go? And it just shows that Nintendo, when it comes to being contemporary, they just can't cut it. So the new dock for the Nintendo Switch is going to be capable of displaying 4K graphics, and it will come equipped with a fan to cool your Switch, which is cool. So it's gonna feel less like buying a part of Barbie's dollhouse, just some plastic thing that goes on your console. That is really cool. That is what's up. Now, being that this machine is essentially just a more powerful version of the Nintendo Switch, what's really gonna sell this is going to be the games. Will the developers use the mouse functionality? Will they use that new C button? As far as backwards compatibility, It's going to be all straight. You're going to be able to play all of your older games. So that's definitely going to be a plus. But yeah, I really want to see what's going to happen. I really want to see what Nintendo are going to bring out. We're already going to have a new Mario Kart game on launch, which is probably going to sell the system. Mario Kart World looks like more Mario Kart, to tell the truth. I wasn't exactly hyped for it, but I know it's pretty much going to be fun. Now, one of my main concerns about the Switch 2 is third-party support. Not in the usual way where we're wondering if it can actually run more powerful games. No, it's just now we are in a post-Steam Deck world, a post-ROG Ally world. So we have contemporaries which have already been running big games like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, and they've been running them very well. So if the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out and can't outperform these systems, what's going to be the point spending full price on a game like Cyberpunk when I could just get it really cheap on Steam Deck? Do you know what I'm saying? And if a lot of people go for the Steam Deck option, the Nintendo Switch is going to have a really bad third-party problem. Because what's going to be the point porting all these games to the Switch if people don't buy them? Playing bigger games like Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Street Fighter 6, Madden, Call of Duty, all that great stuff would have seemed like a real get for the Nintendo Switch 2 if gamers weren't already doing that for the past 3 years on a Steam Deck and ROG Ally. So if Nintendo can't find a way to sell these third-party games, what merit is in it for the third-party developers? Because on a Steam Deck, you can get all these big games for really cheap. And if there's no incentive to get games on a Switch, then you just won't get games on a Switch. You know what I'm saying? Now, personally, as far as games, there wasn't really much in this conference for me. I've seen a ton of the stuff that they have there before. They got a ton of indies. I'm not really buying. No, nobody wants to spend close to $500 or pounds to buy a console for indies. That just doesn't make sense. But you know what does make sense? Buying a Nintendo Switch 2 solely for the new From Software game. Yes, people, I'm doing it. When you are going to end a presentation, you end it like this. When you say, hey, excuse me, we have one more game left, it better be something like this. As soon as I saw that look, I crashed out. When I saw that, yo, this is essentially open world Bloodborne. You can see it, and yeah, it's going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, which means that hardcore gamers which have any self-worth are literally going to have to play this game. I was immediately locked in when I saw this game. There was nothing that I could... Yeah. There's going to be so many videos talking about the trailer, what this could possibly... Who's this woman? Who is she? Why is she wearing that hat? All this we will find out hopefully by this time next year, because this is the reason why I feel I must be in on the Nintendo Switch 2 train. I'm being from London. Look, he's probably flying past my house right there. Like, look, like, that's it. That's all I've got to say. If you're a real gamer, you have to play this game. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. That's pretty much it. Nintendo kind of won with this game. I don't know how they managed to get the spiritual successor to Bloodborne, but they have it. And so I have to have it in my veins. You know, so yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody felt the same way when they saw this, you know what I'm saying? Nintendo, you sly dog. You sly dog, man. I didn't want to Switch 2, and now I feel like I will die if I don't have one. So yeah, let me know what you think about this console. Let me know what you think about this game coming to Nintendo Switch exclusively. Yikes. And the thing is, Nintendo did this to Sony before with Monster Hunter. They just poached the Monster Hunter series for them anyway. But yeah, we're going to get into how Sony are dropping the ball later. But well done, Nintendo. Well done. Yeah? So I will talk to you guys later. Sayonara.